Now, I'm confused. I am completely confused. You make it on to Love and Hip Hop, and this is how you let them represent you. I'm just shocked. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. This is season 6, episode 15. Just stick around. Stick around as I get through this and it'll all make sense. But I don't understand, and I'll never understand anybody sitting where I'm sitting now, right now, in real time, and end up on Love and Hip Hop. And this is your storyline? Scary. That's scary. Okay, anyway. All right. So let's start with where we are. We're at this show. Lyrica's getting ready to perform. Lyrica, first, I hated that outfit. I literally hated the outfit. Her makeup looked really pretty. She looked pretty. But I hate everything about that outfit. It was like one size too small. The fabric, I just hated it. I just did not care for it. Usually she wears really, I don't know, she wears a certain quality of clothing, and that didn't come through. Beyond her little fur piece, everything else she had on, I like the cuffs. She had the sparkly cuffs. But the little fur piece and the little sparkly cuffs is all I could even deal with. And her makeup was nice. That outfit, I didn't like the fit of it, the shoes, none of it. And then she got so winded. She got so winded during her performance. I'm like, what's going on, Lyrica? It just was a bad representation, because I follow some of Lyrica's music and stuff, beyond the show, and I like some of her songs. She has this song called Makeup that I absolutely love. That and Don't Take It Personal are my two jams. I couldn't get with this at all. And this don't even sound like it may not be a bad song, but the performance was terrible. The performance was terrible. But anyway, I guess everybody can have an off day. Anyhow, Apple was there. Apple looked real nice. Apple looked very nice. I love the her ponytail, her little sheen with the little knots down it. I was like, come on through, Apple. And she looked soft for a change. And it was scaled down. She still was, boobs out and tats showing and all that. But she just looked overall, she looked feminine and chill. I thought Apple looked probably one of the best times that I've ever seen her, and she was actually dressed down. Paris showed up. Paris and Zell showed up, and she was there talking to Apple. Was there talking to Tierra, and Apple and Paris got the chance to actually speak, squash their little beef, fixed it, and then as that happened, then A1 came up and Lyrica came up, and it literally everybody was there all at once. Zell came over, and it all got fixed, and they all fell in line. So it was like, okay, cool. Now that's cool, but let's just see how long it lasts. Let's skedaddle on over to the housewarming party. See, because all those people were there. None of them were invited to the housewarming party. So you all bust out with y'all's announcement. Now y'all ain't speaking to none of y'all friends. Only people that were at that we know that, they've been hanging out with that were at the housewarming party was really Mickey and his girlfriend. For the most part, I was like, okay. And then it was like old folks we ain't seen, like Nia. I was like, Teddy Riley, you let your daughter up on here again? And I'm like looking at her. I said, Nia Riley, you girl, your past ain't the best with this show. You better just Make an appearance and get the hell on off screen. Don't do nothing because you tend to get on here and 2 minutes after you get on camera, you make an ass of yourself. So just be quiet and sit in the corner. Then you seen Caesar. Caesar and April had this little conversation, and I was like, what was that about? Him and her sat there on the couch and went back and recounted their friendship, his friendship and her relationship with Omarion. They just had a small little time to sit there and trash Omarion. I was like, boy, Omarion has gotten more free publicity and more free press off of this show than a little bit. You know, they say all news is good news. Baby, y'all say Omarion, Mari, every episode. For 15 episodes, I don't think there's been one episode that Omarion hasn't gotten free press. Press. Mari don't need no press. I know he's sitting around like, thank you, Mona. You might as well write me out a check. But her and Caesar sat there and they trashed Omarion and basically said that he always put his image first before everything. And he throws everyone under the bus. He just got off tour. He's making money, and y'all are doing what? I don't know. He ain't throwing he ain't trashing everybody. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, but whatever. So then Carter was there. Carter is April's friend. April's friend who was actually in the background in that video that circulated around on IG, that live that April did when she came across as a filthy tramp. And now, you all know the famous video, all the men want this, you know, that little thing her and Evelyn got in common. Her and Evelyn, you know, a couple months apart, made the famous mistake of beating their cat on IG. Well, she was on IG. Evelyn was down to the basketball wives. But beating your cat in public and talking mess and finding that it really puts you out there and people kind of view you as a bit of a tramp. And yeah, those little nasty things that April was saying and how all the guys wanted to screw her and everybody knew she had good cat and all this kind of carrying on. And I sat there and I listened to it, and this broad is blaming Moniece. Honey, Moniece didn't take her hand and smack your Tucci not one time. That was you. And your girlfriend sitting behind you. And they were asking her, girl, why didn't you stop her? Because she thought it was cute too. She thought it was cute. They're like, they spliced it down. All people saw what... I don't want to hear it. That ain't got nothing to do with Moniece. The things that April was saying, that had nothing to do with Moniece. When you were saying it, you thought you were letting Moniece have it. You weren't. You were coming across as trash. And it's nobody's fault but your own. Period. Anyway, moving on. And it all makes even more sense as we go forward. That it wasn't just a splice up job. This is just kind of how you've been carrying on, sis. But anyway, moving on. K. Michelle had a meeting with her production team, her go-tos. And I was so glad that she was having this conversation and she was receiving what was being said from them, because these are people she trusts and people she works with on a continual basis. And they were getting everything together and they were trying to figure out where they wanted to attack this new music. And they feel like she should actually record the album, the country album, in Nashville. I agree. If you have the funds and you can do it, I definitely believe that she should be in Nashville to do her country album. I do. They told her, they were talking real with her. You got 2 strikes against you. You're black and you're a woman. Both of these things are going to work against you, and you need to understand it. And they told her, cut out all this bull crap you've been doing. Go in with the intent of making great music. Don't go in with the intent of, oh, I'm coming to take over country music. It's not going to happen. You're not going to take over country music. You try to get you a little piece of this is what you need to be doing. Like Whitney ran down there and got her a little piece of it, and it really, really worked out for her. But, go in and with the intent of making great music. So I was here for that. I was here for their whole conversation. Like I said, I'm glad she was listening and not doing the Kate Michelle and trying to argue. She was listening to them. And they told her, you try to do something new, and just know that being a leader is lonely. And don't be afraid of it. Don't be scared, but know that there's going to be some times when, being a leader is lonely. You try and do something ain't been done. You breaking out and setting the trend and making the standard. You're going to be in it all alone a lot of times. So just get ready. So I was here for that. I loved that whole scene. Zell, Paris, and Tierra. This whole scene got on my nerves. Really got on my nerves. Zell, you're not a very likable. Your likability is it's rough. And the more I try, the more I just see different things about Zell. He just is not likable. And he claims to be this really nice person, and they keep saying he's such a giving person. Okay. But you're also a shit starter. You're also a narcissist. You're also loud and unnecessary, and you feel like you want people looking at you. And everybody's already looking at you. So I just can't. But they're there. Him, Paris, and Tierra are at the house. And they're basically, him and Paris, they're ready for her to go. I was like, okay. So with that, I'm seeing, and people will do this. That's why you don't try not to put yourself in a position where you got to stay with other people. Because they ready for her to get out their place. And instead of just saying that, they're being mean. And they're being shady. And they got the whole little mean girl vibe going on. And we ain't even there. And I could feel the us against you vibe in the house. And I ain't even there. I'm all the way over here looking at it on TV. I was like, oh my. So Zell's working on an EP as well as his clothing line. And in the past, he actually had talked to Tierra about doing a feature with him on his EP. And she stood him up. She's all in her what she does. And she stood him up, and he got really upset because he had paid for the engineer, paid for the studio time and all of that. And she just flaked on him and didn't show up. Then she was sitting there and she was talking about, how do y'all feel about, for my new EP, how do y'all feel about me collaborating with Apple? And I mean, okay. Instead of just answering it and saying, yeah, that's cool, or no, maybe not, or he flies all off the handle. He flies off the handle and he's pissed off. And it all wraps back around to what happened in the past. And the bad part was that Tierra did what Tierra does, and she wouldn't take ownership. She didn't take ownership or accountability for what she had done, because that is wrong. You don't make people waste their money. You don't do that. You don't do that. That's not cool. And but it all led. The conversation rolled all the way around to, I want you to get out my house. This is my house. So I was like, it was ugly. I didn't like the whole scene. The whole scene got on my nerves. I was just like, ew, this is ugly. And I thought about stuff like this when she first showed up and said she was going to stay with him. I was like, ugh. And sure enough, it made it around to it. So anyway, shortly after that, they're doing this model search. And Booby rolled through, and he was like expecting to see Tierra. So I guess Booby got a little thing for Tierra, but he was expecting to see Tierra. She wasn't there and everything. So they ended up having this little conversation about what had happened. And Booby told Zell, listen, Stop acting out all the time. Stop with all that bravado and all of that carrying on, because people can't see who you are. You're like, we know who you are. We know how you get down. We know your real personality and everything like that. But people don't see that. All they see is all that extra shit, and then they don't take you serious. And if you want to be in the music business and you want to fool with these clothes, you need people to take you serious. And you got to do something different than what you've been doing. And for whatever reason, he accepted the information from Booby. He got to crying and carrying on. I was like, and that's what it's like. You're such a good person. You're so giving. I'm like, yeah, we don't see all that, So good. Maybe he's gonna try to make some differences. I was like, cool, no problem. So anyway, now let's roll on over. Jason Lee is hosting an iHeartRadio Street Fest, and we see Nikki Baby. I was like, what's she doing here, Joe? We see Nikki Baby. She's with Tierra because Tierra is now staying with her. Girl, why don't you go get your own place? God damn. Get your shit together and get you a spot. But now she over there at Nikki Baby's. We know that ain't going to last long, okay? They used to do okay, but get your own place, Tierra. Anyway, so Tierra is coming up, and she walking in, and the next thing you know, this happens. Listen. Why she bust her back like that? Tierra is a damn clown. But anyway, she came in there and fell over there and bust her back. I said, oh, bitch. And then she swore that she wasn't drunk. She ain't had nothing to drink. She done been sober since she came to Hollywood, but it's them shoes. Well, if it was them shoes, you need to give those shoes back to the original owners, because they have got to belong to Kim Burrell. Yes, buckle boots herself, because them damn shoes buckled you, sis, and bodied you and bust your back all on the floor. But I'm having a hard time believing that you were sober, sis, because you didn't just fall down. When you fell down, your body went limp. That's that drunk shit. That's that drunk high shit. Because when you went down, then it was just, you went all, the way your arm flung back, no. I'm having a hard time here. That's why I put the little visual in here. I'm having a hard time. You bust your fucking back. Whatever, but if you say you sober, and you sober, girl, whatever, honey. I don't care who tell it, honey. Anyway, all right, so they get her all together. Moniece comes up. Here, Jason rolls in with his messy ass, fussing at Moniece, telling her, girl, how you going to be dropping information out and didn't come to see me? Now, didn't you just get done kissing 10 miles of ass? You done got in trouble with April and Fizz. You got in trouble with A1 and Lyrica, and now you want to do it again because you don't care. See, I said that about Jason Lee. He don't care. He wanted the exclusive. But anyway, there were voice notes that Just Hilarious had actually dropped, which were information that was between her and Moniece, because Jess, they gave us all this in like 2 seconds, and I had to run it back like, wait a minute, I'm not following this. Just Hilarious was like besties with April, and then they fell out, and they were like 5 months. of separation in there. And Jess Hilarious was shady as hell and gave voice notes and stuff to Moniece, and then Moniece posted them. And she's telling her all this stuff about April. And apparently, April was allegedly running around town, messing around with some other guy, and literally was so into the guy that she basically done told Fizz that the guy was like her spirit animal, and he's who she really wanted to be with. And Fizz, baby, laying around babysitting her kids while she running with this other piece. Just a whole damn mess. I said, oh my. And Monista put it all out there. So this is where we came in from the beginning of this review. Just hilarious, sis. Really? Just hilarious. You know, she used to be a YouTuber. And she did YouTube and IG and all this. And now all these things are happening for Jess. But goddamn, Jess is always in some shit. Jess is always, her mouth always gets her in trouble. And she ends up apologizing. This is all I know of Jess's career. Jess get out there, shit be popping, and the next thing you know, she'll say something messed up. And then she ended up apologizing, and this is no different. But I can't believe you get yourself on Love and Hip Hop, and this is what you allow your character to be. I'm like, wow. I don't know. But then again, I mean, we've seen Jess got a strong back. She can handle it. She can handle it. She handles backlash. You know, I've seen her do some crying and stuff. She's a good actress too, you know. But she gonna handle this like she handles everything else. But yeah, I was like, damn, Jess, not again. During that little exchange that they were all having there, I couldn't believe also, Jason, you know you're gonna get attacked too. This little thing, I heard him very briefly put in there. When are you going to lay hands on April? I know you're not over there promoting them two women to fight, Jason. Not cool. And you know people are going to tear you. I was like, oh, jeez. I was like, boy, that Twitter is going to be buzzing tomorrow, honey. Because I know people are not going to like that. That wasn't a good look. You don't promote for those two to fight. Like, stop it. What are you doing? They don't need to be fighting. They need to stay away from each other. They got too much going on already. But anyway, I was just like, Jason, you're going to get in trouble for that. You like trouble too. I mean, some of the trouble is your business, but some of that shit's unnecessary. But whatever. Anyway, so at a point, there was just Mickey and Moniece left her talking, and Moniece basically said she was so sick of Fizz and all of this on and on with him that she threatened to try to sue him for custody of the little boy. Now I'm like, interesting. I doubt that she'll get it, but because it's been too long. It's been too long. Like he's been with him so long that I doubt it. That this stuff that you're talking about, that a judge don't care about you being jealous, because that's what it is. You jealous and you're angry. You're only happy when Fizz don't have nobody, and Fizz is only happy when you don't have nobody, and y'all like to aggravate each other. Like quite honestly, neither one of y'all are really nice to each other. Only thing is that you get tick tick boom. You go tick tick boom. The judge ain't gonna give you that baby anyway. Whatever. So moving on, we see K Michelle, Carly Red, and there's another girl. I didn't catch who she was, but K Michelle basically announced that she's getting ready to go back to Atlanta. She's gonna move back to Atlanta because Tone, the girl who's gonna be the surrogate, her surrogate, she just says she don't really want to be around her. She don't want to be friends and hang around her as she's carrying her babies, which we're hearing this thing because again, you're hearing like all the little emotional stuff because it's going on Real Housewives of Atlanta as well. Candy is going back and forth about the surrogate and literally, there's like a little jealous thing, like a little tinge of jealousy about somebody else carrying your baby. So Kay is going to move all the way back to Atlanta, so she won't be there. But they were doing this whole vaginal uh, cleansing session. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever that is, whatever y'all that I ain't got no whatever. I ain't in it anyhow. But that's it. So she don't want to be around while she's carrying, so she's moving on back to Atlanta. Okay, Michelleism. You know, Kay has always got something going on. That's Kay. Anyway, then there's a sit down with Zell and Tierra. And he says, we're not getting ready to do no whole lot of fighting and yelling. That's why we came to this nice little white restaurant so we could be white and polite. I said, oh my God. That's Zell. Just no tact. Just say anything out of his mouth. He ended up basically really sharing his feelings about how he felt about her going to Apple, and basically how he's a little jealous. You know, that she's talking about going to go do the song with Apple when she didn't come through the way she was supposed to for him. And I said, Zell, you're trying to fix the problem. Why you have to throw in there? Because he just, you know, in Zell fashion, he got to throw a little shade. He threw a little shade in there, basically saying that, you know, Apple don't even care for you all like that. I was like, well, why you have to throw that in there? Why you throw that? It's got to be shady, god damn it. But anyway, so they basically they got it squashed, and I noticed they are actually family because they really are cousins, and you can see it. They both have a real problem with admitting their wrongs, so that's where they clash a lot. So that was interesting, but they did get it together and they squashed it. I was like, good for you all. And then we have the last little scene. We got April and Fizz. They're sitting there talking about Jess and how things went down. And then Jess walks in. She came in to talk. And first, Fizz is staying there with her. And then Jess's energy wasn't about it. She come in doing like Jess Hilarious does. She came in apologizing. And Fizz was like, oh, well, get a glass of wine. Y'all talk it out. I'm gone. He went on and left them two out there talking. And I just was looking at Jess Hilarious, and she basically, you know, she really did humble herself, and she apologized and told her, she's like, you know, a lot of that stuff that I said wasn't even true. I was just so mad, and this, that, thing, and the other. And she was like, well, girl, you got to assure me that, like, you'll never do that to me again. Like, I can't believe you put me out there like that. And I'm like, again, my mind is only rapping with, really, Jess? It's like this, like her showing up on this show was for what? It's like it seems like character assassination to me. I'm like, it seems like you on a suicide mission. She's like, you know, yeah, I'm a bad friend. Yeah, I got mad at you and I told a whole bunch of lies, but I'm sorry, Dad. That was your whole purpose of being on Love and Hip Hop? This is what you came to offer? As much talent as you got, you came down to Love and Hip Hop Hollywood to show up as a shady ass backhanded friend. I'm just stunned. But okay, whatever. So maybe she's gonna switch it up because the last thing that she basically was saying is that at this point she trying to pull up on Moniece. Why? But okay, I got so she's mad that Moniece put out the information. So I'm just confused. I'm confused. I'm confused because from what I gathered, it should have actually been April that pulled up on you. But so I guess y'all made up. So now y'all want to pull up on her because I guess because she posted it. Whatever. I don't know. I'm just gonna watch. We're gonna watch and see what comes next. But I'm just shocked that Jess was okay with just coming all across as a shitty friend. I didn't get it, but okay, whatever. All right, y'all. We're gonna be watching. I'll catch y'all next week. We'll see what happens. All right, later.